For thousands of years, the moon has watched over Earth from above, becoming a silent companion to every civilization, every culture, and every generation that has ever lived beneath the night sky. It feels permanent and unchanging, almost timeless, as if this familiar object has always belonged in our sky and could never simply disappear without a trace. Yet most people never stop to think about how much influence the moon quietly has on our planet and the countless forms of life below. From the movement of the oceans to the natural rhythms of wildlife, the moon plays a far greater role than most people ever realize. But tonight, we are about to imagine something impossible, a scenario so strange that no scientist on Earth would ever expect it. At exactly midnight, the moon suddenly vanishes. There is no warning, no explosion, no flash of light, and no debris left behind. The object that illuminated Earth's nights for billions of years is simply gone, leaving behind an empty space and a darker sky. Surprisingly, most people continue their normal routines at first, completely unaware that one of history's greatest cosmic events has just occurred. Cars keep moving through busy streets, phones remain connected, and daily life continues almost normally, despite the impossible event above. Even the sun rises exactly on schedule the next morning, creating the illusion that everything is normal when it truly is not. As darkness spreads across the planet, people slowly begin noticing that something feels unusual. The night sky looks different, and an uncomfortable sense of emptiness starts to grow. Without the moon's familiar light, landscapes lose their soft glow. Mountains, forests, and open fields suddenly appear darker and far less recognizable than before. Across cities, towns, and rural communities, millions of people look upward in confusion, realizing that the moon is no longer shining above them. Within minutes, social media fills with photos, videos, and questions. News alerts begin appearing everywhere as confusion rapidly spreads around the world. Astronomers are among the first to understand the seriousness of the situation. They immediately begin searching for answers to the impossible mystery. Powerful telescopes are turned toward the exact location where the moon should be, scanning the sky for any sign of its existence. But observatories across the globe report the same result. Every instrument confirms the same disturbing conclusion, making the mystery even more alarming. The moon is not hidden behind Earth, it is not passing through an eclipse, and it has not simply moved elsewhere. It has completely vanished without explanation. And while humanity searches desperately for answers, nature is already beginning to react to its absence. As scientists investigate the mystery, wildlife begins experiencing the effects almost immediately. Many species depend on the moon, far more than most people realize. For countless animals, moonlight serves as a natural guide. Suddenly, those familiar signals disappear, leaving many species confused and disoriented. Sea turtles, that normally rely on natural light, cues now face a darker and more challenging environment than the one they evolved for. Migrating birds also depend on the night sky for navigation. Some may struggle to follow routes that guided them for generations. Without the moon's familiar presence above them, certain bird populations could find long-distance migration far more difficult and unpredictable. Many nocturnal animals organize their behavior around the changing brightness of the moon throughout each month and season. Those natural patterns are suddenly disrupted, forcing predators and prey alike to adapt to conditions they have never experienced before. Across forests, wetlands, deserts, and coastlines, subtle ecological changes begin spreading through ecosystems, shaped by moonlit nights. But wildlife is not only part of the story. Earth's oceans are also about to experience a dramatic and historic transformation. The moon's gravity constantly pulls on Earth's oceans, creating the tides that influence coastlines and marine ecosystems around the globe. Every single day, billions of tons of seawater move because of the moon's gravitational influence, shaping life along the world's shores. When the moon suddenly disappears, its gravitational pull disappears as well, causing Earth's oceans to behave in ways they never have before. Tides do not vanish completely, because the sun still affects the oceans, but they become significantly weaker than people are accustomed to. Although solar tides continue to exist, their influence is much smaller, leaving the oceans without their strongest tidal force. Coastal communities soon begin noticing unusual changes as familiar tidal patterns become less predictable and far weaker than before. Many marine species depend on regular tides for feeding, breeding, and survival, making this change a major challenge. Over time, entire ecosystems must adapt to a new reality, one where the oceans no longer follow their ancient rhythm. Yet the moon does far more than influence oceans and wildlife. It also plays a critical role in stabilizing our planet. Without realizing it, Earth has lost one of the most important forces, helping maintain long-term stability throughout its history. The moon helps stabilize the Earth's rotation, reducing large changes in the planet's tilt and keeping conditions relatively predictable. Without that stabilizing influence, Earth's axis could become far less stable, especially over extremely long periods of time. These changes would not happen immediately, but over millions of years, they could dramatically reshape the future of our planet. Regions that are frozen today could eventually become warmer, allowing entirely different ecosystems to emerge and thrive there. At the same time, some fertile regions could gradually become dry and harsh as climate zones slowly shift across Earth. Over immense spans of time, weather patterns, ecosystems, and even the geography of life itself could be transformed. But beyond science and climate, humanity would also lose something deeply connected to its history, culture, and imagination. For thousands of years, civilizations have used the moon to measure time, create calendars, and better understand the seasons. Ancient sailors crossed vast oceans beneath moonlit skies, using its light and the stars to guide their journeys. The moon inspired myths, legends, poetry, artwork, and dreams, becoming one of humanity's most powerful symbols throughout history. Now that familiar sight is gone, leaving behind a night sky that feels strangely empty and incomplete to future generations. Children born after the moon's disappearance would know it only through photographs, stories, and records from the past. As the reality spreads across the globe, the world enters a state of shock. Questions, theories, and endless speculation begin appearing everywhere. Scientists work around the clock, using powerful telescopes and advanced technology to search for answers to the impossible mystery. Research centers and observatories share data across continents, but every investigation leads to the same troubling conclusion. No evidence explains where the moon went, how it vanished, or what force could remove something so massive. Despite the challenges ahead, humanity survives. People adapt, technology advances, and life gradually finds a new balance. Earth remains alive and beautiful, but it is no longer the same world that previous generations once knew. The moon may seem like a simple light in the sky, yet its influence reaches every corner of our planet in remarkable ways.